right, welcome to the Krueg Show, call-in show, 8:33 on the West Coast, 11:33 on the East Coast. Larry Krueger with you on the Pig and a Pickle Krueg Show, brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Also brought to you by Marin Auto Glass and New York-style Italian sausage, not to mention Underdog Fantasy. Those are our sponsors. We'll talk more about them in a bit. Make sure you get your brisket at Pig and a Pickle. 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera, open 7 days a week. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. Kev, what's going on? How are you? How's things at Cal Poly?
How are you doing? You're a grinding guy today. You are up. You're doing videos. You got the Jeremy Chin. You got the camp. You got Lombardi. How am I supposed to follow up Lombardi? Jeez.
Seriously, Lombardi. We had 1,100 people in the room. Did a long interview today with Guy McIntyre. We're going to be partnering with the 49ers. Pumping up the Golden Heart Fund. We're going to tell people about that. Really excited about that project. Got a chance to do one of the first interviews of its kind with Randy Gregory. Watch Gregory practice today. Talk to George Odom. Talk to John Feliciano. Got 3 questions in with Kyle Shanahan. A killer video on the player that vaults the 49ers into and through the Super Bowl. Jeremy Chin is the guy I'm banging the drum for. So we got a lot done today, and I'll be back down there tomorrow. And tomorrow, Colton McKivitz is going to stop by. I believe Jawan Jennings said we'll wrap a little bit tomorrow. Dre Greenlaw. So we're blowing up. We're blowing up. We're at 25,000 subs. The channel's exploding. What can we say? A lot of great stuff. A lot of great stuff.
I just texted you the interview questions, or the presser questions, but also, I mean, I know we're going to talk about this later, but
the presser questions,
the Kyle presser.
I mean the reels, the reels of Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
No, but
I love the reels.
We'll probably get into this later, but I saw some of that Gregory interview, and my favorite part is when you're like, so, I mean, I forget how you said it, but you're like, so, like, how do you feel about being in a wide 9? He's like, oh, I love it. Or was that the question? He was like, oh, that's amazing. Yeah. It's like, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
he loves the wide 9.
It works great for me. Yeah. So he can see the sacks coming, and if he can see him, this defense just got better, bro. I mean, how is that possible?
Life is good. Life is good. This, I have to say, is my favorite live stream of the week. One, because I get to talk to my son, who I love. Good to see you, Kev. But I also love to talk to the audience. We got Big Mo hanging in the green room. Big Mo, I like it. Is that a hook 'em horns? Did I get a hook 'em horns from Big Mo? No, he's got the hang loose. I like that. So Big Mo's going to be our first caller. I put the link in the description. Let's get into some video calls, but first, our questions of the day before we go right to the calls. And we're only going for an hour tonight, 8:30 to 9:30, or, well, let's see, 8:30. How long have we been on for? Yeah, roughly 8:30 to 9:30. We're going to shut it down at 9:30. So, all right, Kev, I did a video earlier today talking about the one player that I believe vaults the 49ers past the Eagles and into the Super Bowl and beats Kansas City if they're there, and it's Jeremy Chin of the Carolina Panthers, who Steve Wilks knows well, 6'3", 221-pound. I don't even know what to call him. He's a corner, he's a safety, he's a linebacker. He's a 221-pound corner, really. He's a slot corner who runs 4.45 with a 1.53 10-yard split, 41-inch vertical, 20 reps on the bench. Somebody told me that it would take, that an article about Jeremy Chin, that they said it would take like a 4th-round pick, or a 4th and a 5th, or a 5th or a 3rd and a 5th, or something like that to acquire him. If that's the price, they absolutely have to get him. I would give a 2nd-round pick to the Panthers for Jeremy Chin. 2 reasons. If you get the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, this is your Travis Kelce neutralizer. That's 1. And 2, The Eagles' main weakness is they lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and they don't have a nickel back, and I don't want to see them get Chin. So you get Chin, you keep him from the Eagles, you got the perfect guy to take down Dallas Goedert and Travis Kelce. I believe that Jeremy Chin, especially here at the end of the trade deadlines on Halloween, you're going to have all of November, all of December, and January. You're still going to have to play before the Super Bowl, and you don't know who's going to get hurt, who's going to be healthy, what you're going to need. This gives you another guy who can play the slot corner. He can play safety if you want to go 3 safety looks. He's insurance against injury. He can play linebacker in a pinch. He's a hard hitter. He can cover. He's not old. Like McCaffrey, you could sign him and have him be a foundation piece into the future. I think Jeremy Chin absolutely is the final piece to the puzzle for the 49ers. What say you?
Well, I mean, you said it was a 4th round or a 5th round or both.
Well, they were saying like a 4th and a 6th for Jeremy Chin.
Yeah.
Or a 3rd and a 5th or something like that. I'm willing to give a 2nd round pick. I would literally say, here's my 2nd round pick next year. Jeremy Chin, come on down.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked much into Jeremy Chin. I've heard that he's good. I've heard he's good. I remember looking at his kind of draft profile coming into college. It was one of the years that I actually got into the draft. He's Southern Illinois, right, or something like that.
Yeah,
He's
Sluky.
Yeah, so he's a big like kind of like this hybrid safety linebacker almost. Like he's a hard hitting guy. He's fat. He's pretty fast. I don't know if he ran in the combine, but I think I read somewhere he's like a 4.4, 4.45 guy, which is fast. And I think one thing that we could learn from the Cowboys game is that the one real mistake that the 49ers made in that game was putting Isaiah Oliver in man coverage, press man coverage, and let Kevontae Turpin just burn him for a touchdown. So that was the one negative play they had, and I'm not sure if Jeremy Chin would be able to run with Turpin. Turpin's like a 4.2 guy, but getting faster in the slot definitely would make this team better. And Jeremy Chin's is a good player all around. Do you need the player? But I don't know. But for a 4th and a 6th, I mean, that's nothing. I mean, that's really nothing.
I think that's bogus. He's worth way more than that. I mean, yeah. Okay, let's just say I'd give my 3rd and a 2nd. I'd give my 2nd round pick. I would. I don't want to trade a number 1, but and here's the other thing. I'm looking at some of these other areas. Okay, what else do the Niners need? Well, maybe they could use another tight end. Okay, I think you could get Zach Ertz for like a 6th round pick. You're not going to get a tackle. If you need a receiver, people are saying Devontae Adams. They don't need Devontae Adams. What they need is a burner. You could probably get McCole Hardman for a 6th round pick. So Jordan Willis is a free agent. If you want more defensive end help, he's on the street. You don't have to pay anything to get him.
He's in the practice squad.
I don't think he's on anybody's practice squad.
I think he's on the Raiders practice squad. I looked it up this morning. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, he is?
But you can
sure
sign him
that?
off the practice.
Yeah, you can sign him off the practice squad.
Or
you could trade for him. You could trade something for him. As far as Brian Burns and these edge rushers, I think they're going to cost you a ton salary cap wise. I don't think with what you're paying Bosa and Hargrave and Armstead, you can't pay Brian Burns that kind of money. You can't have that kind of money devoted to your defensive line. You're good at linebacker, but this guy gives you insurance there. You're good at safety, but he gives you insurance there. Maybe you want to go a 3 safety look. He's the neutralizer for Goddard and Kelce. You keep him from the Eagles. And at the end of the day, if I could get Surtain or J.C. Horn, I would do it. But I don't think you can get those guys. I don't think those guys are gettable. I don't think Denver's moving Surtain at the end of the day. I just don't buy it. And also the Niners have Samuel Womack and they have Darrell Luter Jr. in-house. They got some reinforcements coming at the corner. I think you need Chin. I think Chin is the guy. You keep him from Philly. He neutralizes Kelce. You win the ring.
Wait, I'm confused. So you're saying they have guys at corner, where are you?
I'm saying the need at corner. I don't think the elite guys are going to be there. Like if you can get DJ Reed, do it. But I don't think you're getting Surtain, and I don't think you're getting J.C. Horn. I don't think those guys are going to get traded. And then personally, I don't think you can afford another high price defensive end? I just don't think you can. You added Randy Gregory. You might be able to get a guy like Jordan Willis. I don't. I just don't think another high priced defensive end like Chase Young at 17 million. I don't think it makes sense. I don't think you can get an offensive tackle. Ertz would be nice. McCole Hardman would be nice, but those are not high price items, and you might be able to get those guys for relatively nothing. To me, Jeremy Chin, especially with Wilkes' desire to blitz and all the exotic blitzes that he would love to use, and the fact is, this guy could help you at slot corner, safety, or linebacker. You don't know what position you're going to need. That's what I'm looking at. I think Jeremy Chin's the final piece to the puzzle.
I mean, he makes nothing, so it wouldn't really matter. He is an unrestricted free agent.
He's in a
at the end
rookie
of the
deal.
year.
He's on the rookie deal.
Yeah, I mean, he's an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, and if you were to
Sign
get
him.
him, there would be some hope that you could re-sign him. So I mean, that would make it all worth it. But yeah, I mean, it's a go year. It's a year that the Niners are saying we're winning it this year. So I don't really think that like if we were to sit here and debate about whether this trade would happen or not, it's not going to not happen because the Niners don't want to give up the picks. Like the Niners are willing to do that if the trade's on the table.
They should do it. That's the kind of move they absolutely should make. Jimbo says Gregory for peanuts was a sweet deal. Yeah, I mean, look what you traded. You traded a sixth round pick that's going to be the last pick of the sixth round if you win the Super Bowl to Denver, who's one of the worst teams in football, who's probably going to have a top 5 pick in the 7th round. So you're moving back in from the late 6th to the early 7th for Randy Gregory, and they're paying all the money? I mean, you got to be kidding me. I interviewed him today. He's like, I'm excited to be here. I said, man, you're going to get a ton of one-on-ones. And he's like, I know it. So I agree with Jimbo. All right, everybody, we're 12 minutes and 20 seconds into the live stream. Hit like and subscribe, boost the stream. Let's get as many people as we can in here before we go to Big Mo. Couple more questions, and then we're going to the lines. All right. Ross Tucker says the Eagles are better than the Niners because they're better on the line of scrimmage. Is he right? Are the Eagles still better than the Niners?
No, they're not. I think that what you can say is the Niners and the Eagles, that the Eagles will be the hardest team for the 49ers to play just because of how they match up physically. I think exactly in the trenches, that's where they match up, That's where that's where they have the advantage. They have Jalen Carter and they can get to the quarterback, and they have pass rush. And they have Jalen Hurts. I mean, they have a physical team. The 49ers pride themselves on being a physical team, and this team is just as physical. So in terms of the rest of the league, I mean, I've seen like ELO ratings and like ESPN statistics, and there's all these different teams. The Bills are pretty highly consensus in terms of how good they are as a team, and obviously the Chiefs are a really good team. I mean, I just think, if you look around the league, the Niners are number 1 or number 2 in offense behind the Dolphins, but in the top 10 for defense. So, they're just all around a good team. And I think their defense is getting better. So yes, the 49ers are the best team in the league, but yeah, the Eagles definitely got to give them respect.
And the last question I have for you before we jump into the phone calls. What do you think? If I said to you, you got to have the 49ers either running the table and winning every single game or losing 2.5 games, what are you putting your money on? Are they going to run the table, or if you had the over, if you had the over under on 2.5 losses, and you had to go over, so they either have to go 14-3 or 17-0. What are you betting on?
That's tough. What I will say is that I did see a statistic from Aaron Schatz the other day. He's like the guy that made the DVOA rankings, if you guys ever heard of those. But he put out a statistic saying, this 49ers team in the first 5 games is like the 5th best team of all time in terms of how they started, in terms of DVOA. And if you look at the other teams that are in front of them, I looked into each team, and most of those teams, albeit it was less games, had only lost like 2 games, and they all went to the Super Bowl except for one team.
Right.
So they're on a pace to they're on a dominant pace essentially. So if the question is, would I bet them to run the table 17-0 or have what 1.5 losses or 2.5 losses over
2.5.
I mean, I guess I'd have to pick 2.5 losses just because 17-0 is a lot
Okay,
harder.
if the Niners lose, who are they going to lose to? Will it be this week at Cleveland?
No, I think the
To
Niners.
PJ Walker.
No, they're not going to lose. I think it could be the Ravens, even though we saw the Ravens lose to the Steelers last week. I mean, they have how the Niners struggle against mobile quarterbacks. They didn't struggle against the Arizona Cardinals and Dobbs, but Lamar Jackson's something different, and that Ravens defense is actually really underrated. They're a really good defense, probably top 5, top 3 maybe. Who else do they lose to? I mean, the Seahawks always play them pretty tough. We haven't played them this year. And
they play them on Thanksgiving there.
Yeah. And the Bengals are turning it around. The Bengals beat up on
I think
Cardinals.
the Bengals might be the loss because the Bengals, it's right before the bye, late October. The Bengals will have the Niners will be on a short week. They play the previous Monday on the road, have to fly all the way back. Bengals coming off the bye, will have 13 days of rest. I think that Bengals game's going to be tough.
And the Rams game, I think, is the last game of the year. You never know what position they're going to be in terms of playoffs and where we're going to be or where the 49ers are going to be in terms of, if they've already clinched the 1 seed. That might be a loss. I don't know.
All right, one super, and then we'll hit the call. Swift Dog 49er says, do you see us sitting starters before the fourth quarter? Thank you, gentlemen. I don't. I think Kyle likes to play his guys. I don't think he's going to sit starters. I don't think he's going to sit guys until the fourth.
Yeah. I mean, the last game was probably the earliest he sat guys. I think it was a couple minutes into the fourth when they were up 42-10. So,
you ready for some calls, Kev?
We only got one call waiting. I'm going to tag the. Why don't you re-put or I'll put it in. I'll put it in again. Yeah.
You put it in the stream again. We had another guy in there who wanted to jump in and then he jumped out. Big Mo. What's up, Big Mo?
Gentlemen, good evening. How are you?
We're doing great, man. What's on your mind?
Hey, well, first off, I want to say, Kev, man, how you feeling, man? You feel a lot better, man?
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling better. Thanks for asking. I was actually really sick. Yeah. So I'm feeling
better. Man, I figured, man. That's why I was like, man, I hope Kev's gonna be all right, man. Hey, man, messing around with them college girls, bro. I'm telling you, brother. No, I'm just playing.
Hey, I appreciate it, though.
Anyway, so
that's right. That's why we didn't do our video deal last week because Kev was bumming with the bat, feeling bad. So now we're here. So my favorite show of the week.
Hey, trust me, I love you guys' platform because, man, I get to put my big head on it and talk to you guys. Anyway, so I just wanted to say, man, awesome win versus the Cowboys. As a longtime Niner fan growing up, man, as a little kid till now, bro, like George Kittle said, man, rip that shirt up, F Dallas. You know what I'm saying? I loved it. But did you hear that he was going to get fined for that?
I did hear that today, and that's unfortunate, man. Come on.
I mean,
you're gonna find the guy for that? He's having a little fun with the rivalry. He's creating interest. I mean, the NFL is just they're so corporate. They push back on anybody who tries to show any individuality, anything that's like outside of their just bland, we're just. And it's like, dude, do you want interest in these games? Bad blood sells. I mean, they should have a vested interest in more stuff like that.
I mean,
Jacob says it's the no fun league. Yeah, it's the no fun league. It's ridiculous.
Dude, find other things. Find Mac Jones for punching like someone in the balls. Like, why are we finding George Kittle for wearing a T-shirt? Like, come on. Like there's so many.
If I'm Jed, I'm paying that fine. I'm paying that fine. $10,000. Yeah. $10,000. That's a lot of what are those cheap sunglasses that Kittle wears?
Zenny.
That's a lot of Zenny shades, man.
That's a lot of Zennies.
That's a lot of Zennies. I may say that to him tomorrow, man. That's a lot of Zennies, man.
Yeah, so like getting back to the no fun thing is just like, though, I was so surprised because I was like, well, I wasn't surprised, but I was just like, man, dude, he's just throwing it back to the old school, man. Let's get it. You know what I mean? But I do want to say one thing. Okay, speaking of old school, okay, one thing that I haven't seen in a long, long time, and a feeling that I haven't felt in a long, long time, which I can attest to pretty much every 49er fan that's listening out there. I can guarantee you this. Four letters, brother. CALM. Calm. Dude, when I watch Niner games now, it's a sense of calm. With Purdy
Oh
at the
no.
helm, it's a sense of calm. When Jimmy G was at the helm, brother, I'm gonna tell you right now, heart attack special. Jimmy G gives you 2 moments a game. 2 moments, guys. He gives you a fuck yeah moment and a
Yep.
fuck no moment. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. I
And
mean, the best thing about Jimmy was his ability to overcome his own mistakes.
exactly. But it's still not good, man. It's like, bro, you shouldn't be making those mistakes. But like, I getting back to Purdy now because Jimmy's not on the team. But I do need to talk about Jimmy because I live in Las Vegas now, so I got a little scoop for you guys. But anyway,
Okay.
getting back to Purdy though, the best part about Purdy is, man, when I watch the games now, I'm not worried about when he lets the ball go, where it's gonna go, if it's gonna hit a defender in the face, if it's gonna hit a defender in the chest. It's just like, man, he's reading the plays right. He's assessing the offense. He's doing what he needs to do to get the job done. And I love it as a fan, just watching him play and watching the team play in general, because you know what? Like I said, I ain't seen the team like this since '94, baby. This is a '94 team, baby. Steve Young is reminding me of Purdy, bro. I mean, Purdy's reminding me of Steve Young, bro. Like, dude, it is like everybody's clicking. The defense is clicking. The offense is clicking. Special teams is clicking. Coaching is clicking. The play calls are clicking, bro. They're leaving points on the field, bro. Are you serious, dude? With Jimmy G, dude, out here, he's scoring 17 points a clip. Still, you know what
I
I'm
know.
saying?
Do you watch JT O'Sullivan, Big Mo?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
JT O'Sullivan was describing Brock Purdy this week as world class anticipation. The guy throws with anticipation as well as anybody. And I asked Shanahan today about that one play where they were using the Miami sprint motion. Did you see that? It was a little sprint. They used the Dolphins fast out motion, and they basically, it was just Purdy throwing a slant to Ayuk against a zone. But that fast out motion that the Dolphins used made the Cowboys just panic. And even though it was a staple of the Niners offense, you got Ayuk on the offensive right side and he just runs a slant and Purdy takes a 3-step drop and hits him with it, there wasn't a Cowboy defender within 5 yards of Ayuk in any direction because they were so wigged out by that sprint motion that the Dolphins feature. And, it's like little wrinkles like that little eye candy pre-snap, and then you throw in a quarterback that can throw with this anticipation and weapons that are this talented. I mean, if Brock Purdy's going to throw to a spot and Ayuk's going to be in that spot, and he's going to start throwing it before Ayuk even breaks, and then you can mix in the pre-snap eye candy like the sprint motion. I mean, it's a wrap, man. You can't stop that. You cannot stop a quarterback who's deadly accurate throwing to weapons in a really well schemed offense. You just can't.
Well, isn't it ironic that the Cowboys went ghost town on our receivers?
By the way, what's Micah Parsons talking about? Trust. You gave up 42 and you got shut out. You didn't get a single sack. Trust that.
Yeah, that was
Trust.
crazy, man. It's like, you know what? I was like, maybe he had a concussion because he was talking crazy. I was just like, man, honestly, I don't know, because they was really busting his ass, man. He had no shot at our quarterback, which was awesome to see because, as much as we talk about the right side of the O-line, you know what I mean? Bro, them boys held up in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, they kept Purdy nice and clean. I like that. Larry, I say this, as long as we stay healthy, bro, like, I really believe we can go all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really believe
It
it in my
feels
heart
like
of
it.
hearts. You know what I
It
mean? I
really
really
feels
believe
like
that.
it.
But
Um, I mean, what's your big? We should throw this out as just a universal question to the audience. What's everybody's biggest worry?
Oh, for me
Yeah,
personally, it's
what's
injuries.
your biggest concern outside of injury? Because injury's football, right?
Yeah,
Outside of injuries,
yeah.
what? By the way, the Diamondbacks just knocked off the Dodgers.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
crazy.
3 straight. Goodbye, LA.
Yeah, that's
Goodbye,
crazy.
LA. Goodbye, Randy Newman. I
Yeah,
love
that's wild.
LA. There you go. Goodbye. Thanks
Kershaw's
for coming.
Kershaw's a choke.
Thanks for coming, Dodgers. No, but seriously, what is your biggest concern outside of injuries? Injuries are universal. That's the universal answer. That's everybody's concern. Outside of injuries, what's your biggest concern about the 49ers?
So outside of injuries, my
Yeah,
biggest concern is slot corner.
slot corner. Okay.
Slot corner. That's what I would say. Slot corner.
Yeah,
Because you
I
know what?
agree.
Not having Jimmy Ward, you know what I mean, losing him to
No
Houston,
K1, no Jimmy
no
Ward.
K1, you know what I mean? It's like, man, those dudes were nasty. And if you notice, it was, Isaiah Oliver that gave up that touchdown to Turpin. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
Yeah.
what we gonna do? You know what I mean? It's like if that's one our Achilles heel, that's it. You know what I mean? That's what I feel is really it. But I mean, picking up Gregory is really gonna kind of help them my boys out in the back even more because he's gonna get off. You know what I'm saying?
Big
But I
Mo,
really believe top corner.
it almost seems like you're in daytime, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like Big Mo's outside in daytime?
Oh no, I'm sitting
He's
on
under
my
a
porch
light.
because dude, listen, I'm sitting on my porch because my girl's inside, right?
Uh,
And you better take that noise outside. And I was like, baby, 49ers will come before you, baby, but I'm still on the
yeah. But
porch.
you said it quietly though, right? She couldn't make out what you were saying.
The
The
TV's louder.
49ers come before you, baby. I love
Right,
it.
right, right.
All right, Big Mo, good to see you, man. Have a great Wednesday night. Go
Yeah,
Niners.
man.
You feel
Go
good about the
Niners.
Browns? You feel good about the Browns on Sunday?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not worried about the Browns offense at all. Like I said, as long as we keep doing what we do in protecting Purdy, I don't think the Browns defense is going to give us too much of a problem. You know what I mean? They do have Myles Garrett on the other side, who is a nasty dude. But
He's a monster.
their offense is in shambles, man. So like, even if they stop us just a little bit, man, honestly, the spread on the game, I think it was 5, if I'm not mistaken. I think we should smash that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Big Mo, get back inside. Tell that girl you love her, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, gentlemen, real quick before I leave, let me just say
Yeah.
thank you once again. And you know what, bro? Picking the pickle, baby.
Big Mo in the
Wow.
house. We're off and running. Dan Coach Emilio in the chat. Na 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 na. Hey. Goodbye. Yes, that's Danny talking Dodgers right there. We bring Niner Gang to the mix. Niner Gang, how are you, man?
I'm good, Larry. How about yourself, man? How you guys doing?
Hey, we're doing
What
good.
up?
Where are you calling from?
Fresno, California, my friend.
There you go. What's going on? What's going on in the valley tonight?
Oh, just some nice, beautiful weather. Nice, cool wind going about 15, 20 miles an hour. Nice sunny skies today. Not a bad day. Good
Yeah,
day all in all.
seriously.
Nice
So
day
what's
in the
going on,
Central
man?
Valley.
5-0. Niners are
What-
5-0. What do we got to be mad about?
Oh, yeah, seriously. Life is good right now. Not only are they fun to watch, they got a young head coach, they got a young quarterback, they got weapons galore, they got a brand new defensive end they got for nothing. The trade deadline's 3 weeks away. They probably could get somebody else. Life is good. Life is good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But on a whole nother note, man, I just want to talk a little bit. First time calling in on you guys' show, man. Love
Yeah,
your content.
seriously.
It's great.
Thanks
man.
Thanks for
calling
jumping in.
Yeah, no doubt, definitely. Thanks for having me. But no, I'm just curious, just little hot topic here. Let's say Brock goes out this weekend, 4 weeks down the road, has a bad game, loses the game.
Right.
What's going to be the opinion then? Is he at this point? Has he shown enough to where he should be entitled to have a bad game? Because we all have bad days, right? I mean, nobody's perfect, but I mean, he's been perfect so far. But
I think what it's
going to happen.
Yeah, I think what it's going to look like is going to be because he throws a lot of 50-50 balls and he throws the ball into traffic. I think there's going to be a game where 2 or 3 turnovers that really aren't his fault necessarily, but the defender's there, the offensive player's there, the ball gets tipped in the air, and the opponent comes down with it. Something like that. But I have a hard time picturing, the 49ers are, think about it this way. The Niners are allowing 13 a game. They're scoring 33 a game. Even if they had a couple turnovers, you got a 20-point differential there. So it would have to be a day, to me, to see them lose against, they can lose against the Eagles because the Eagles are good. But against some of these other teams that aren't PJ Walker and the Browns and that kind of, I think it's going to take the Niners to be like -3 in turnovers to lose outside of the Eagles. I don't think they're going to lose. I don't think they're going to lose if they're -2. I think they're too explosive offensively. They're scoring too many points. There's too many possessions in the game. There's 10 to 12 possessions in a game. If Brock Purdy throws 2 passes that get tipped and they're both picked, even so, even if the 49er defense blew a coverage or two, I still think they're good enough to win. So it's going to take either a major turnover fest or just a really, really bad day at the office. So, I don't know. I would say, yes, I would say there's no question in my mind that Brock's got enough goodwill built up that if he loses, people would still be. Now the anti-Brock crowd is waiting for this. So they may come back with the, I told you.
It's going to be
But
interesting
Kev,
time.
what do you think, Kev?
I think it definitely begs the question. Once he does struggle, you can evaluate him on his struggles. I think it's going to have to do with how the game actually went. Did he actually make bad plays, or did it, like you said, was it a tip? Was it a tipped off Ronnie Bell's hand into someone else's hand, like in the preseason or something like that? But yeah, everyone has bad days. You're right, Niner gang. So it happens, and Jimmy G had a bad game every other game. And people were telling us that they were the same guy like a couple weeks ago. So I think it's really just, I would actually like to see him have a bad game and see how he faces in a little bit of adversity.
Can they win through his bad game?
Definitely,
Maybe.
man. I was watching Jimmy G play a little bit against the Raiders this last weekend, man, and I was just like, I don't miss those days. He's sitting there just clapping the ball, and I'm like,
Right.
oh.
He's pitter-pattering his feet in the pocket.
Right.
I'm
I'm so glad
throws it. It's like, oh, that's a pick.
Brock steps back. He does his little one pat. And that ball's gone, man. He's ripping it, and he's got
Brock
that thing
just
going down.
seems so much more calm than
Now,
Jimmy.
let me ask you
Jimmy
this,
just
Larry.
seems like he's always like frazzled.
Let me ask you this, Larry. You're in the locker room. You're
Yeah.
around the players. You're around everybody. You're around the coach. You get to question him, all that good stuff. Is it? I'm just sitting here back watching from what you guys put up, whatnot.
Sure.
I just feel like a sense of calmness over Kyle Shanahan, the other coaches, the players. There's no the answers when they're answering the questions feel honest, not like, oh, I'm scrambling here because I don't want to throw my buddy under the bus. Is there a sense of calmness in the locker room as opposed to nobody's really worried anymore that, damn, Jimmy, what kind of day are we going to get with Jimmy today? How do you?
There's a ton of confidence. There's a ton of confidence. These guys know how good they are. They really do. They believe they're the best team in the league. They know they're good. They know they got a defense that can shut teams down. They know they got an offense that can put points on the board. There's a ton of confidence in Brock. There's a ton of confidence in Shanahan. I'm even getting the sense from the defensive players that there's a ton of confidence in Wilkes and the way he's calling games right now. So, yeah, you got to remember this. The 49ers have both things going right now. They have both the greatest collection of top-tier talent in the game today, and they also have a crazy amount of depth. There's all kinds of good players on this team that don't do anything, that never play. That's the thing. John Feliciano was a starter last year for the New York Giants. He's a backup on this team. Ronnie Bell could start for a lot of teams. He's a backup on this team. Ray McLeod could play a bigger role. He's a special teamer. Brandon Allen was number 2 last year. He's number 3 here. Elijah Mitchell, Jordan Mason, Ty Davis Price. These guys are starting caliber running backs. They don't start here.
That's why I
Kinlaw
think
and Givens could be somebody's interior tackle combo. They come off the bench here. They got two great young linebackers in D. Winters and Jalen Graham. These guys are never seeing the field. They're not even active on game day. Jair Brown is a really good player. He never plays. So, I mean, they're pretty – in the secondary, they're a little thinner than some of these other spots. But, like, Orrin Burks and Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles could easily start for 20 teams in the NFL. They're special teamers here. So there's depth
Crazy.
here that is, I think that's really
crazy.
it more than anything, is
You
that
look at it like
everybody
that,
knows
it's
that if a guy gets hurt, bring somebody else in.
Hey,
They're
next
feeling
man up,
confident.
right?
Next
what
man
do you,
up.
What do you think with I was listening to, I want to say it was Grant, possibly maybe even Stats also on one of their guys' content shows today, maybe even yesterday. They're talking about the amount of sacks that the Niners have in total. They're not really getting home a whole lot. Bosa, all this talk about Bosa, even though, his numbers are there, he's doing his job. That's to the point. But it almost feels like, I think I agree with him that I think Steve Wilkes is trying to fix the problem as far as we had problems with mobile quarterbacks. So maybe does it seem like he's having that line and those, the linebackers focus on, let's contain the quarterback first, and we're good enough to wear this O-line out, and we're going to get home eventually. What's your thought on that?
Yeah, okay, this is my thought. Put yourself in the other team's shoes. You're playing the 49ers, okay? What do you think they're talking about in their meetings when they're talking about their offense against the Niner D? What do you think? How do you think the conversation's going?
Number one, we got to stop Bosa. Number two, we got to think about Hargrave, and then it's you got to obviously worry about Fred Warner, and then you got to come back to the line because you got Armstead after you're worrying about Hargrave and Bosa. So
I think what they're saying is, guys, this is the best defensive line we're going to face all year. Get the ball out. Get the ball out. Don't hold the ball. Get the ball out. And then think about the teams they've played so far. Week 1, Kenny Pickett, and they destroyed him. Stafford got the ball out super fast. Oh, my God. Puka Nacua, all those little stop routes, they just threw short, and he just rapid fire. Daniel Jones, exactly, got the ball out fast. Yep. Dobbs got the ball out fast. It's like Dak Prescott's like 5th in the league in getting the ball out of his hands. So I think first of all, it's a league-wide trend to neutralize great rush, get the ball out fast. But then when you play the Niners, I think it's like, oh, man, you sure as hell better get the ball out fast or you got no chance. So I'm not worried about the sack total. I think the other thing is, let's be totally honest about this. Hyder, who's now in Houston, Drake Jackson, and Cleveland Farrell are not hitting the quarterback, which is why there was a need for Randy Gregory. Now with a speed rusher like Gregory, now let's see how many sacks they get. I bet you they're going to get a bunch.
I think Gregory's going to be a good addition as long as he can stay healthy. Never liked playing him when he was in Dallas. I think he'll be a good addition to the team as long as his health holds up. He'll definitely get some numbers out there. A lot of one-on-ones, like you were talking to him.
He's going to get a lot of one-on-ones. He's also going to give them a speed element opposite Bosa. And then when you have a speed element, that means that there's going to be times where Gregory beats his man and the quarterback tries to escape right into the lap of Bosa. I think Bosa, with Gregory there, if Gregory does what I think he's going to do, I think Bosa is going to start falling, and Hargrave and Armstead. I think those three guys are going to start falling into some sacks.
I think this weekend might be a good little sack fest for them, especially if we get a little weather and kind of forced to run the ball, or they get behind, try to start throwing that ball. It's going to be a rough outing for them. PJ Walker, because I don't think Deshaun's going to play. Something weird going on over there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there either. I mean, what is going on
Coming
there?
off a bye, he's still not healthy. He didn't play the game before. Like, what's going on?
Did they say like he was medically cleared to play, and he shut himself down? I do believe.
Right, and he's only completing 55% of his passes. And they went to 1 week of DTR, but now it's like, hey, you know what, Phillip Walker. So this game was scarier a month ago when there was Nick Chubb. Now with no Nick Chubb, I don't think the Browns can run on the Niners. So I think they're going to make them one-sided. And then it's just about, right now Brock Purdy he's got no picks. I mean, the combination of Brock takes care of the football. The Niners have a well-schemed offense and tremendous weapons and a killer defense. The Niners would have to be, as I said, -3 in turnovers to lose to this team, I think.
And even then, to your point, they got so many dang weapons. One guy has a bad day. I mean, even if Brock has a bad day, okay, take the ball out of his hands, run the ball all day. Telling me Christian's going to have a bad day along with Trent, along with Mason, along with Kittle or Debo. I mean, it's just, I'm not betting against them or looking at them to lose until they lose. That's how confident I am.
Yeah.
I wasn't a real big believer in Purdy in the beginning because I was a little gun shy because of the whole Jimmy thing, whatnot. Shame on me because it's not Brock's fault. It's like leaving the crazy ex. You have a hard time loosening up to the new one. But nor here nor there. I loosened up. All the faith in Brock. I wish him nothing but the best, man.
One of the comments here in the chat said that the Eagles struggled. Says Eagles struggled, barely beat Washington. Settle down. Yeah, I mean, come on. Seriously, you're going to talk about beating the 49ers. You're barely beating the Commanders.
They also have one of the worst red zone efficiencies in the NFL. They're not doing well in the red zone. So
they're coming off that Super Bowl hangover, and they lost a lot of good players. And CJ got hurt. Sauce Gardner, whatever his name is, he got hurt. And I mean, it's a little bit of a deal for them. So they lost some players.
Niner Gang, thanks for jumping in, man. We appreciate you watching the show. Have you been catching our streams on a regular basis?
Every week, Larry, I catch 2 or 3, 4, 5 of them, man. If I don't catch them live, I'm always back watching them on the flip side. I work, I have an office job. I work here. So, man, it's definitely a great, great pastimer, because all this nonsense on this ESPN, whatever crap they got going on, that's just a spectacle in itself. So.
And Kev's putting together some great videos. I'm cutting them, and he's getting them out. And
we're also on podcasts. We have Spotify and Apple Music. So if you need to listen to the audio, you got it too.
I put it on right here on the stream, on my phone, whatever it may be, and set it off to the side and just get off to work, man. And next thing you know, my day's over, and I've gone through all the shows and got to one point there for a second. I ran out of, you guys stopped putting out a whole bunch of content, all of y'all, and I was like, man, what are we doing here? It's a little boring, that little period between that little 2-week window between the season starting after the preseason, got a little dead right there for a little downtime. And I was like, oh, what are we doing here? Come on,
Niner Gang, have a great Wednesday night, man. And we're going live every Wednesday on the call-in show. Call in every week. We'd love to hear from you, man.
I'll be back next Wednesday, guys. Have a great evening. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Niner Gang.
Niner Gang in the draw.
Why don't we?
Well, no, after the draw would be San Leandro.
Why don't we shout out our underdog?
That's right. We are brought to you by the Krueg Show, is partnered with Underdog Fantasy this football season. Underdog Fantasy gives fans a way to play alongside your favorite football team all season long. Check out your weekly pick'em players, where you pick between 2 to 5 players and select whether they go higher or lower in their game stats. You can win up to 20 times your money in a single game by going 5 for 5. It's a fantasy game, but you can win real money. And this week I'm going with Brock Purdy, and the lines aren't out this week, but I like Brock Purdy to have a big game in Cleveland against the Browns. You can enter the same as me, or you can make your own picks. Sign up using the link in the description and the promo code Krueg, Krueg, and they'll match you up to $100.
Download
Los
it.
Is hanging
link in
out.
the description.
Links in the description.
Download. Yeah, it's actually really fun. It's a fun game. It's a fun game.
Los, before we go to you, because Los is going to gloat on the Dodgers, and I can't wait to talk to Los. But we got Screw Orlovsky, which is a great handle.
Hey,
what's up, Eric? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
What are you munching on, bro?
Some chips.
Nice.
Camera angle going here.
Where are you calling from?
San Francisco.
Nice.
There you go.
One of the few natives who actually stayed.
Really? Where's your car parked right now? And is anybody busting into it?
Oh no, I live out in the Sunset, so parking it on the street's not an issue.
Wait a second. You're talking to a guy who grew up in the Sunset. I used to live on Rivera between 2535 Rivera between 35th and 36th Ave.
Okay, I'm on 21st and Ocean. So it's
21st and Ocean by
by
Stonestown.
Exactly. I mean, technically, the
Is
sunset.
that? I'm not sure if that's a sunset.
Kind of.
Sort of is.
Sort of. I mean, it's not the true sunset because I'm past Sloat, but
Where'd you go to school?
urban.
Okay, all right. I went to Stewart Hall. Where'd you go to grammar school?
I went to the San Francisco school.
Okay, gotcha. San Francisco school, urban, SF State?
No, I went out of state for college. I went to Tulane in New Orleans.
Oh, so you've drank a little
Nice.
bit.
You could say I enjoyed Mardi Gras.
Tulane is like the ultimate drinking school, by the way, for those of you who don't know. If you want mixed drinks on campus, man, that's your spot, Tulane.
Only state where you can legally drink at 18.
So what's on your mind, man? What do you want to talk about tonight? Thanks for jumping in.
Oh yeah, well, I wanted to try out this feature. Couldn't get it to work on my phone, but I got able to get it work on my computer. But so I wanted to talk about two things. One was just the absurd Brock Purdy disrespect. Like Steven Ruiz, the so-called expert on the Ringer,
Right.
came out with new rankings today, and he did this whole spiel.
Well, where do you rank him this week? Oh my God, I can't even. 22. You got to be kidding me.
So Brock Purdy's what? 41 or no, 38 of 45 with 5 touchdowns, no picks over the last 2 weeks. And what, like 600, close to 600 yards, but
22.
Yeah,
that is pathetic.
And he gave a whole primer of why he ranks Brock Purdy the way he does, which was, even though Brock Purdy's number 1 in EPA and QBR, he's in the middle of the pack for interceptable balls and one other thing I can't remember now off the top of my head, because I was just like, I just wanted to see where it was, because he'll die on this hill.
Yeah. And die he will.
and it's like Orlovsky. I actually like his commentary, but like he goes on and he gets.
I do too.
He gets into it with Rex Ryan, who's like, this dude
called him out. That was awesome. I loved Rex Ryan calling him out.
And it was kind of just like, and then he got called out on air by oh God, what's his name? The kicker who has the show on ESPN. McAfee. So Pat McAfee calls him out, and then Orlovsky FaceTimes him, but doesn't realize that he's been put on air.
Oh my God.
He's like, I never said that he would do better than Brock Purdy. I said he would do like Brock Purdy, not necessarily better. So he's trying to backtrack the whole time. And so that's why I've got screw Orlovsky, because
screw Orlovsky.
Like, it's just like, I just don't understand. He threw some dimes. I mean, I thought his best throw was actually the Ayuk call that got, the holding call where it was the 3rd and 4, and then
the Burford hold.
Yeah, and then he comes out and rips it on 3rd and 14, dime to Debo, and it's like, maybe he's not a bum, just throwing it out there, 10-0 in regular season, 2-0 where he finished the postseason game, and what, he's up to like an touchdown to interception ratio of like 20 something to 2 as a starter.
Watch this, by the way. I'm going to play this for you guys. Here we go. This is Rex Ryan crushing Orlovsky.
I've told you for years this team stinks. They'll never win again. All right, because I'm telling you, they had their run with Brady. When they let him go, I told you they would never win again. They're not going to.
If Mac Jones was in San Francisco, he would be playing like Brock Purdy.
I actually agree. Oh, God, no.
Yes, dude.
No, there's no chance. He'd be better than he is. But if you think he's going to play like Brock Purdy,
Rex,
you haven't paid attention to Brock Purdy.
Rex,
that is a slap in his face.
No, it's not.
He's not just a system quarterback.
Did we pay
that guy's
attention?
playing like Joe Montana, not Joe Montana, like this guy's playing.
Stop.
That
So
made
good.
me laugh. Not Joe Montana.
I know. And so I just don't. I mean, I guess he's going to have to go like 17-0, win the regular season MVP, win the Super Bowl MVP, and then maybe he's actually a starter. I mean, what I just don't understand is he had Tom Brady ranked 10th, and he's like, it's just a placeholder. And he had Kyler Murray like 13th or 15th, and he's out with a torn ACL, and his game's predicated on scrambling.
I know. It's
And
they're haters at this point. I mean, if you want to say, hey, I need to see more from Brock Purdy, I get it. That's fine. I got no problem with that. I disagree. I don't need to see more, but if you need to see more, that's fine. But don't tell me he's 24th and 22nd. I mean, that's just disrespect. Hey, Eric, let me jump, man, but I appreciate you jumping in. I appreciate it. And when we go, we do our Wednesday night call-in show. We'd love to see you every week, man. Jump in here. We'd love to get your feedback.
sounds good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
There
Eric.
you go. Los is in the house. What's up, Los? With
My
the
friend.
Expos house.
The
Hat
Expos
going.
hat. Hey.
Look at that.
Kevin
Warren-
Krueger, how are you, young man? Good to meet you.
Warren
Nice to meet you.
Cromartie
I've
joins
seen
us.
you. I've seen you too many times in streams with Dan.
Way too many times. Now we get to meet. Great to meet you. Learning under pops. Yeah, I wish I had a Diamondback hat, Larry, to put it on right now, but unfortunately I did.
Bye-bye, Dodgers. Bye-bye, Dodgers. There we go. Little kid wave for the Dodgers.
Is
Uh-oh.
he frozen?
Los got froze.
Yeah. I honestly, sorry about that. I was trying to in the green room change my name to Screw the Dodgers, coming after Screw Orlowski. Kind of hard to follow a guy named Screw as your first name. That's great.
So, Los, how you feeling, man? How you feeling tonight? Are you talking baseball, football? What's on the tip?
I wanted to talk a little football actually with you. I wanted to pick both of your guys' brain about, the whole narrative about like if they do pull a trade and bring somebody in, centers around cornerback. And I kind of agree that, if you're going to face a Mahomes, if you're going to face a Josh Allen, if you're going to face a Jalen Hurts in the big games down the road, you need as many good secondary people as you can. But we are getting Luter back at some point. We are getting Womack back at some point.
Yep.
Why the hell they got rid of Drayshawn Jameson still bothers me, because I think that kid can play.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think about, like, maybe if there's an offense, if there's a team that's kind of out of it and they have a starting tackle or a backup tackle that's not playing, that's really serviceable? I hate the thought at Trent Williams.
There's no backup tackles. I mean, I don't believe it. I know people talk about Garrett Bowles, but I just don't believe you're going to be able to get a tackle. I just don't.
Starter?
I just don't.
And
No, I
starters?
don't believe it. I don't believe there's going to be a good tackle moved. I just think that tackle's one of those spots where you get them in the draft or you don't get them. So save your number one pick, use it next spring on a tackle, but you're going to have to go with McKivitz. You got to go with McKivitz. You might be able to – somebody said Kelvin Beachum from Arizona. Okay, that's not bad, but he's not even playing for Arizona. And Arizona's line's hardly awesome. So I don't think it's possible. I really don't.
It's not so much a bad endorsement about McKivitz, who I think is playing pretty damn well right now.
Yeah.
It's more I'm scared shitless if him or Trent go down. You're sitting with Matt Pryor and Jalen Moore coming in, and Purdy playing at the level that he is. Now you take that big of a drop in tackle play. Now you can't have five guys go out in coverage anymore. Now you got to go back to bringing Kittle in to block or our fullback to block. And now we don't have as many options in explosive plays, because that's why the Niners offense is doing so well. Is Purdy's just a 6G processor. Boom, 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 boom. And when you got five guys going out on the routes, you can't cover everybody.
I'll tell you what the biggest illustration of how Kyle feels about Brock Purdy is he's not leaving Kittle into block or Juszczyk. He's getting five out in the pattern. He's making defenses defend the whole field. And he says, I'll take a chance that my five linemen can block your defensive line for enough time, and Brock Purdy will be able to process fast enough and get it to one of my weapons in space faster than you can sack him. and it makes all the difference in the world. Los, I got a full room back there. Let me jump, brother, but we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Los is in the house. Warren Smith's in the house with the Niner hat. I love that Niner hat. What's up, Warren?
What
Thank you. What's going on?
Where are you calling from, man?
From Louisiana, family place.
Where's that?
Louisiana.
Louisiana. Nice.
Yeah.
How you been? How's things?
I'm pretty good, pretty good. I got a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, it's like, okay, Brock Purdy doing everything so quarterbackish. And why
I like that
quarterback?
word, quarterbackish.
Why other quarterbacks can't do what he do? Process the information before he snapped the ball and after he snapped the ball. Processes and find an open man. And then it's supposed to be simple, but everybody make it hard.
No, I mean, yeah, you're right. That's his superpower. It's his processing, and that's why people are so they don't want to give him anything because they don't see it. They can't see him. They can't see him being big and fast. But what you can't see is that he's an elite processor.
Well, you know what else, Warren? He's making it look easier than it is. Like, your footwork in the short game has to be on point or everything's off. And his footwork is elite. But nobody really cares. Like, quarterback coaches notice footwork. Offensive coordinators notice footwork. Receiver fans don't notice footwork. Media doesn't notice footwork. They just see the ball come out. And then the fact of the matter is, count how many times Brock Purdy in the course of a game puts it on his receiver's hands. Everything's right here. Nobody even breaks stride. Guys aren't reaching back. Guys aren't going high, going low. He's putting it on their hands in stride. That's really it.
Yeah, that sounds something, but everybody make it hard.
Seriously, right now he's looking good, and the Niners are feeling good. Warren, let me jump, man. Have a great night. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
There you go. Double thank you.
Yeah.
Who's been waiting the longest here? Let's go to Andre. Oh, Mike.
We already got
Mike.
We
Mike,
can't
we're going to you
cut him
next.
off like that.
Sorry, we got Andre, then Mike. I didn't see Mike there. I got the board's kind of partially blocked. Andre, how are you, man?
Good, man. Good. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Where are you?
I'm in Northern California. I'm in my own studio. I have a YouTube channel myself. So.
Oh, look at you. You're a pro. We're dealing with a pro here, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess so, although I'm a little lower than you guys are right now. But
we made it that way. We intentionally made your camera angle lower.
It's supposed to tear down.
Hey, wait a second.
I like how the first thing you say, Dad, is, "Where are you?"
Where are you? I'm like,
where the hell are you? I'm looking over your shoulder, Mr. Krueger. No. What's going on? So what's going on, Andre? You're in NorCal. You got your own YouTube channel. Is that it right there? You've been hitting me on Twitter this week, right?
Yeah, I have.
Hey man, I appreciate all your stuff on Twitter, man. You've thrown out a bunch of stuff and very complimentary of the show, man. I appreciate that, man.
Well, you know what, man? I've been a fan of you ever since Sports Phone 680, and I told you before in the DMs, that was the best show, and there hasn't been a show as good as that since you left. And I'm being blatantly honest with you, and I've listened to KMBR for a long time, and it's never been the same. And so
you're the smartest man in America. We're talking to Andre, the smartest man in America.
I mean, to see you on YouTube and thriving and being successful, it's awesome to see. And 25K, I mean, goddamn, in a year, 25K, that's incredible.
Yeah, no, and this kid over here, and the other way.
It's always
that kid over there.
Yeah,
he's helped quite a bit. He's helped quite a bit.
Well, that's awesome. Well, so look, I've been watching your videos. I've been watching everyone's videos, and Brock Purdy. The thing with Brock Purdy is that what the major or the mainstream media doesn't understand is that Brock Purdy isn't supposed to be this good, and so it feels like they're just drowning in the idea of like, well, he's just good. Like, there's got to be a way to stop this. You know what I mean? Like, there has to be a flaw in his game, and I haven't seen it yet. And I mean,
isn't that crazy? I haven't either, man. I really haven't seen the flaw.
It doesn't make any sense, and I'm loving it because he's our quarterback. So that's amazing. But I mean, have you seen any flaws in his game, even back before he was even the starter?
Okay, the only flaws I see is he's such a tough kid that sometimes he isn't fearful enough of the defense and is willing to take hits that he doesn't need to take, that he needs. But that's even more of a product of last year. I've noticed this year there's his feet are calm. He's very, very calm. He's now processing so smoothly, so consistently. I don't see a dramatic weakness. I mean, obviously he doesn't have the huge arm, but I mean, this is the NFL. It doesn't really matter. Almost all the patterns are short and intermediate.
Right. And so I sent you a clip the other day. I don't remember or not, but it was a clip of Jimmy Garoppolo throwing a couple of interceptions. And the thing about it is that when you watch the mistakes that Jimmy Garoppolo makes, it doesn't surprise you. It didn't surprise me. I'm like, yeah, that's a Jimmy Garoppolo move where he kind of panics and then he just starts pumping the ball and then he starts throwing it and then it's intercepted. You're like, dude, and you ask yourself, you're like, dude, what are you doing, dude? Why'd you do that for? And I love Jimmy Garoppolo, but I mean, to see what he's doing over with Las Vegas, you can see the same flaws that he had when he was playing under Kyle Shanahan, and it's even worse now.
Yeah, when I interviewed Juszczyk and Kittle late in the year, it was really obvious to me that A, they love Jimmy. He's their boy.
Right.
But B, that they knew Brock was better. And it's like they knew Brock was better, but they knew Jim, they wanted to be loyal to Jimmy. They didn't want to say anything bad about Jimmy, but they knew that Brock was better. And I think that was clear to me last year. They didn't want to be like, hey, he's better than Brock. He's better than Jimmy, but they knew he was better than Jimmy.
Do you think there's a chance that he could have suited up for that last game, the NFC title game?
Or
is that just like a rumor at this point?
I think ultimately he probably could have. That would be my guess.
That would have saved
And I think he just,
he was already out. He was out the door.
He was mentally out the door.
I mean, if somehow they won that game, maybe by the tush push that you were talking about the other day, but if the Niners could have won that game,
he would have shown up for the Super Bowl.
He would have. He would have. He'd have been like, all right, yeah, I'm back. I'm good. I'm good to go. Let's go.
Right.
But
they weren't going to Phillip Rivers. They were going to go back to Jimmy. And I think the fact that Jimmy made himself unavailable is part of the reason that Kyle seemed a little frosty at the end of the year towards Jimmy.
Yeah.
When he was like, yeah, he's not going to be here. Whatever it was.
Before I go, I just want to say big shout out to E-Man, Emmanuel Mosley. He tore his other ACL last week. Such a heartbreaking story, man. I
love that guy, too. He's a really good player.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Andre, tell people about your channel, man. Is that it? Nicotina _ show?
Yeah. So,
and what do you do? When do you come on? How often do you stream?
I stream about 2 to 3 times a week, and it's a movie entertainment show. Talks about like comic book movies, movie news and entertainment. It's called Nicotina Show. It's on YouTube. It's a lot of fun. I've been doing this now for about 3 years or so.
3 years? Great.
Yeah. I'm not hitting the 25K mark like you are, but
I had the head start, right? I had the radio head start.
You got Kev too,
And I got Kev.
Yeah, I got secret sauce. Secret sauce.
And people think he's a real human being. He's artificial intelligence.
Well, I'm also a system child.
Well, the thing
yeah, he's a product of the system.
Well, okay, so then you got Brock Purdy, who's undefeated, hasn't lost in the regular season, and at the same time you got Bruce Bochy, who's undefeated in the postseason now, and he's moving on to the ALCS. He
had to go. We needed a manager that had hand tattoos.
We needed Cap.
We needed a manager with a 3% body fat
who eats an apple in the dugout.
Bruce can't wear a Speedo like Cap. What an embarrassment! What a freaking embarrassment for the Giants. Let's be honest about that. Seriously. And these idiot sycophant Giants fans who sit there and go, he wasn't fired, he retired. You idiot. You're a freaking idiot.
It was so obvious.
If you think Bruce Bochy retired, you're an idiot. He was forced out. He was forced out. Come on.
But
everybody knows he was forced out.
Why did they force him out? To go with this with Farhan and this new analytic type baseball? Is that what they wanted to do?
I don't know. I don't know if they decided that, they want to be all in on Farhan, but You know, they should have just stayed with Bochy. They should have. I mean, come on.
Absolutely.
Bruce Bochy should have been allowed to write his own ticket out of town, and they shouldn't have pressured him to get out. I mean, it's embarrassing. He's going back to the World Series this year as sure as I'm sitting
I hope
here.
he wins.
I hope he wins too.
Just to rub it in their face and say, look, you ran me out of town. I came back, and I just won a World Series.
Yeah. Giants are an embarrassment. They really are. Very unfortunate.
Hopefully they'll turn it around.
Listen to this one here. I don't know if this is true, but MF just said, I heard Brian Murphy say on KMBR that he has inside information that Farhan forced out Bochy. That alone should kick Farhan to the curb.
He's got to go. I agree with you in the sense that he should be a think tank kind of guy, but not
keep him in the
architect.
background.
Yes, he's not a baseball guy.
Also,
No.
every single excuse in the book has been used on Twitter right now. It's like, well, his last 3 years, his record was this, and he did this and that. It's
Well,
like, you went to
okay,
3
but
fucking World
2021 keeps sticking out people's minds. Like, hey, it's possible. He did it in 2021, and then not to mention that, but then the first half of this year, JD Davis was playing out of his mind. All these guys are playing great. I was like, maybe he figured it out, and then they all came back down to earth, and then they acquired AJ Pollock, and then they just
AJ Pollock.
AJ Pollock.
AJ Pollock. Hey, Farhan, take a class on sales. You underpromise, you overdeliver. You do the opposite. That's why you need to be out, because you can't do sales.
No.
You have to sell. Part of being the general manager, Farhan, is you have to sell your deal to the fans. The attendance is down because you can't sell shit.
And they can't get anybody either. I mean, you're trying to get who was the guy they were trying to get? Aaron Judge. In the midst of that, you sign Mitch Haniger. Like, he's going to be like, "Oh, you got him too? No, I'm definitely coming." It's like,
I mean, that's ridiculous. It's like your buddy who calls you and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm pricing Lambos. I'm thinking about a Ferrari." 6 weeks later, he's driving a used Ford Fiesta with a dent in the hood, and you're like, "Dude, what happened to the Lambo? What happened to the Ferrari?" Well, you know what? I decided to go Ford Fiesta. No, you're an idiot. That's what you are.
No, the best example was it's like firing Bill Walsh and replacing him with Chip Kelly. It's just like,
No,
what
thank
the
you.
fuck? How could you do that?
Seriously.
Put
If
it
you don't
in
have somebody
Niner
big
terms.
time lined up, if you don't have somebody big time lined up, then don't make
Seriously.
the move. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
It's
embarrassing. Giants
it
are an
is.
embarrassment.
well, the
They're an
Dodgers got
embarrassment.
knocked out, so that's good.
That's good. That's good. But we're going to sit there and watch Bruce Bochy go to the World Series
I know.
as, what? We're debating between who knows as the next manager. All I got to say is I would dump Farhan and go all new, but I mean the fact that it's just bad. It's just bad. We can't. In fact, I can't even talk anymore Giants because I'm losing the audience.
I know. Everyone's like, all right, I'm out of here.
I'm out of here. I
But
can't
we'll
deal
see.
with this.
Niners Browns gonna be a good game, and I want to see the new guy, the
Randy
defensive
Gregory.
end, Randy Gregory. We'll see how good he is. I mean, he got cut, but he's still a quality player.
good.
So, I mean, most of the time, like with baseball, teams just don't get rid of good pitching. In football, teams typically don't get rid of good pass rushers, but this guy has the tools to be really good. It's
Yeah.
just where
No,
he
we'll
came
see.
from
We'll see.
sucked.
I feel really good about Gregory. I think he's exactly what they need. He's a speed rusher. He's out to prove that he's the player that he was in Dallas. Had a bad stay in Denver. Didn't work out. I talked to him today. He's in great spirits. He practiced today for the first time. Can't wait to see him on Sunday. Andre, thanks for jumping in, man. We'll
right,
talk
man.
to you soon. Nicotina_show. Everybody go follow. Give Andre and Nicotina_show a follow. Help him get to 25K.
All right,
Thanks,
you guys.
Andre. Later, man. There you go. Michael Miller in the house. What's up, Mike?
Got two things.
What up, Mike?
Everybody says save first round pick for a offensive lineman next year.
Right.
Go get Patrick Surtain the second. Give him the first round this year, second next year, and a third round this year. Get it done. Then you can hang a Super Bowl trophy over there at the stadium.
I'm not sure that Surtain's even available.
They wouldn't do it for a
I know what
first,
you're
second,
saying.
and a third.
I love the idea of getting Surtain. I just wonder at the
building
end of the
block.
day.
He's a
Yeah, I
building
mean, he's
block for
awesome.
the rebuilding team. Why would they get rid of him?
Yeah,
Don't Denver-
I don't
don't Denver
know
need
that
a
he's going to be
quarterback?
moved.
Don't
I think
Denver
he
need a
won't be-
quarterback?
Yeah, they
What
do.
better way to get a quarterback is to have 2 first-round picks to move up to get the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah. No, hey, if they get Surtain, I'll be doing cartwheels, and I can't do cartwheels.
Corners are a dime a dozen compared to getting your quarterback.
What do you think of my idea of Jeremy Chin, though?
Who's Jeremy Chin?
Jeremy Chin's the Panthers' nickelback, who's monster.
I don't watch the Panthers. I mean, they're horrible. So
Okay. Well, I thought you were in Virginia.
I'm a 49er fan. I don't watch the Redskins. They're on TV every week. I don't watch them. I hate them.
The Commanders.
Yeah.
What's point number 2?
Point number 2 is, have y'all woke up after y'all said that I was probably drinking? Do y'all realize that Brock Purdy is the best quarterback in the league yet? Or have y'all still on the bubble there?
Best quarterback in the league over Mahomes?
I've been saying it. I've been saying it for a year and a half now. Have y'all? When do y'all
barometer?
What's your
baseline?
On the bandwagon with me?
What's the baseline though? Is it any quarterback on any team? Like how well the quarterback plays with their team, or on any team, or what are we talking about?
Well, let's see. The referees are helping Kansas City win. That's obvious. They done helped them about 3 or 4 games already. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have won maybe 2 games this season without the refs' help. I believe Philadelphia has the leading false starter in number 65, Lane Johnson. The referees are helping them win, obviously, right? Does Brock Purdy get any help from the refs? Not a bit. Does Brock Purdy whoop the, out of every team he's ever played? Does he always score in the mid-30s or better? He's the most dominant quarterback in the NFL.
I've got one question for you, Mike.
Yes.
Did you start growing that beard yesterday?
This is about a month and a half.
Wow.
Look at that thing. Can we see the sides? I mean, that thing is impressive. Look at that. Look at that thing.
That's only about, I could shave and a month and a half later it'd be back like this.
Damn, that's an impressive
I'm not going
beard.
to shave until the 49ers lose.
You're going to look like
It may
Santa
be
Claus.
a long time.
Now, do you get it? Do you dye it? And do you dye any part of it?
No, it's got this natural.
Look at that.
Yeah.
So if you went goatee, it would just be brown, but because you went beard, it's brown and white.
Yeah.
That's a sharp look, man. I like that look.
I just want to know, when do I add you to the Brock Purdy best quarterback in the league bandwagon? Because I'm the first. I can't be a bandwagon.
Seriously. No, come on. You know me. I'm all
you like
about
Brock
Purdy.
Purdy.
I'm all about Purdy.
But until you wake up and realize he's the best quarterback in the league, that's what I'm talking about. You know he's a good quarterback. Probably a great quarterback. But he's the best quarterback in the league. And I will say this at this point, I have been saying it in my YouTube group. He's probably, if not, will be the best quarterback of all times in the NFL.
Brock Purdy? Wow. Joe Montana?
I think he's better than Joe Montana.
Better
and I
than
think
Joe
he's better than Tom
Montana?
Brady.
Wow.
I have not seen a quarterback that can compute like a processor and scan the field so quick in my life. And the minute he scans and sees, the ball's out. There is no hesitation in his game.
I'll say this. He's the real deal.
50-some years of watching football, a quarterback be able to process and make decisions as quick as he can. Not even Tom Brady could do it. Not even Joe Montana could do it that fast. And yes, they are badass.
I don't know, man. Best quarterback of all time. I mean, we're taking this argument to another level now.
Probably going to be the best quarterback of all time. I'm already past the best of this year, or the best in the NFL now.
You know what? In 1999 and 2000, everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Tom Brady wasn't thought to be the best, and now he is the best.
I'll be watching this
we'll
in 10
see.
years.
After his 8th or 9th Super Bowl in 10 to 15 years, then I can say welcome to the bandwagon of what I did 20 years ago or 15 years ago.
I will say this about Brock Purdy. How many, there's a lot of people think he's going to regress. If he was going to regress to be some thoroughly mediocre quarterback, it would have already happened.
And remember this, he will be about 40% better than he is now by the time we get to December. The game is going to slow even more down for him. The wide receivers are going to be skyscrapers that he's throwing to. It's going to get a lot better for him.
It's a team sport. So when the team gets worse, he's going to get marginally worse. It happens with Mahomes this year.
When Jimmy Garoppolo went out, what did the entire squad, defense, offense, do under Brock Purdy? Elevate.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Way better.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm just answering the question: how would he regress? He would regress if the team got worse. As it happens.
But here's the thing: it's very reasonable to think that at 23, he's going to get better. He's going to get better, and better from where he's at right now is scary good. And maybe Mike's right. Maybe Mike's right.
Do you feel who processes what he sees faster, Patrick Mahomes or Brock Purdy? I know you know both of them.
Yeah.
You've watched both of them. Who sees faster, who gets the ball out faster at this point in time right now?
I think Purdy is more – I think Purdy's footwork in the short and intermediate game is clearly better than Mahomes. But what Mahomes has is an absolute rocket. He's going to rocket.
Completely different. He plays a completely different ball game. So
does Tom Brady have a rocket?
He's got a very good arm.
He's got a decent arm. It's above average. It's not Patrick Mahomes.
No, Mahomes
Did
has
Joe
got
Montana have a big arm? No, not really.
No.
Who's the two winningest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL? Them two.
Yeah.
Not a rocket cannon.
Well, how about this? I mean, both of the if you agree with the premise that Tom Brady and Joe Montana, in whatever order, are the two best quarterbacks of all time, the one thing you can say about both of them, they were both overlooked in the draft. So if Brock Purdy became an all-time great, in some ways he would fit the exact same mold as those guys. He was overlooked in the draft. And why is that? Because at the end of the day, we can't measure what's between the ears. We can't measure heart. We can't measure competitiveness. Those things are huge factors in a quarterback being great.
You got to admit, though, Brock Purdy's probably got the best head on his shoulders out of any other quarterback in the league right now.
Yeah.
He's also got mental maturity. He's very serious about his craft. And also, I'll say this, Brock Purdy is a competitive son of a gun. Very competitive.
That's what I like. He's fiery.
What other quarterback in the NFL has that, ice cold look at all times? I'm trying to think. Herbert, maybe?
No.
Burrow, maybe?
No.
Yeah, Burrow has that kind of.
Burrow sort of like
I'm just talking about the way that they look. I'm not saying that one's better than the other. I'm just saying that way that they act in the pocket.
Michael Irvin yesterday on television said he'd rather have Brock Purdy than Herbert.
Yeah.
Playmaker.
Keyshawn Johnson pissed me off, ever pissed me off this morning.
Why? What did he say?
He's saying, Brock Purdy's never faced anything where he's ever been down 28-10 and tried to have to come back. But you know why he ain't got to do that? Because the team's going to have to drop 50 to even put pressure on Brock Purdy.
And not only that, I mean, he was down 10 in the second half against the Raiders last year on the road, came back, forced overtime, and won the game. I mean,
and he looked like he was laying on the couch, just relaxing.
People with these, he's never been down 7 scores with a minute left. And, it's like, what? What? Is that what we're talking about?
I'd rather have? I wouldn't rather have a comeback king. I'd rather have a guy that beat your ass from get-go and just walked you off the field every game.
So that's what you have to play back. You have to play back to get to that point. Yeah. No,
Brent Jones, who played with Joe Montana, says that Brock Purdy reminds him of Joe Montana.
He reminds me more of Joe than Tom.
Yeah, I agree.
But
he's a lot like Joe. He's a lot like Joe. There's a lot of intangibles there. It's amazing they fell into this guy.
What would it take him to do this year for you to come on here and say, yes, he is the best quarterback in the NFL right now?
That's a good one. That's a good
undefeated season?
I would say undefeated season, wins the Super Bowl, throws for 5 touchdowns in the Super Bowl, and beats Mahomes.
I don't see it as like an award, where it's like, oh, if he has this many touchdowns. I think it's more like if he looks like the best quarterback in the NFL.
So far he looks incredible.
Do you see a team that can beat him right now in the NFL? I don't.
Well, it's not him. It's
it's
the
not
49ers.
him. It's the 49ers. The Niners have Bosa and Hargrave and
I
Armstead.
don't care. Bosa can set out. Debo can set out. Brandon Ayuk can set out. He's still going to win games. He'll win games with the backups. Brock Purdy carries the team. I see it. I don't know if anybody else sees it. Brock Purdy can take the backups and dominate other teams.
Wow. Michael, we're going to jump, but great stuff, man. You never disappoint.
Patrick Surtain II or a defensive end from Minnesota, one or the other, go get him.
There you go. Michael Miller has spoken. It's time for Cameron Thacker, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the Ginger. Cameron Thacker in the house. What's going on,
close.
Cam?
Close. Dirty blonde. We're close.
Dirty blonde? That's really dirty.
Yeah. Dodgers lost today. It's more dirty than normal.
Where are you calling from?
I am from Tucson, Arizona, but I am a California sport enthusiast. So Lakers, Niners, Dodgers.
There you go. But from
Lakers,
Tucson.
Niners, Dodgers. Okay.
I've been to Tucson.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Good golf there. Good cheap golf.
Tucson.
If you like to play golf and you can deal with the heat, get to Tucson. So what's going on? Are you a U of A guy or a high school kid?
Yes.
How old are you?
I am 21.
21.
I'm a
Sorry about that.
University of Arizona fan for all the sports. We almost upset USC the other night, triple overtime. I was up late, and then we lost. So I was like, at least the Niners play Dallas tomorrow.
Are you familiar with the greatness of Tom Tolbert?
I am not. Probably too young.
Too young for Tommy T.
young.
He played for Lute Olson down some of their great teams there. So what's on your mind, man? What are you thinking? You got the Debo jersey, the Kittle jersey. You're wearing.
I'm wearing number 5 for Randy Gregory. Even though
Randy
it says,
Gregory. Does it say
not
Lance on the back?
Gregory on the back.
Oh.
But I'm wearing 5 for the new number 5. I'm really excited
There you
for
go.
this weekend.
He's got his Gregory jersey going. What do you think? You're feeling good about the Niners right now? How'd you catch us? You catch it? Is this the first time you caught us on YouTube or what?
Well, actually, I've been watching your show for like a year now, and the growth is crazy. First of all, I just want to say congratulations on 25K. But I've
Thanks,
been
man.
watching for a long time now, and I've never called in. I've always told myself I'm going to call in, and here I am. So,
Hey,
thanks
we
for calling
appreciate
in.
you calling in. Say hi to Kev. Kev's he's really the boss. He's the boss man.
Yeah, I got Kev on the gram. I think I got both you guys on the gram. Follow you guys, keep up with the Niners and the home life and the family.
Oh, both of us on the gram?
Hell yeah, I
Re-
love this show.
Oh,
Let's go.
that's awesome. We love to hear that.
Everyone in the chat saying that we look alike.
Dude,
So,
I knew that was gonna happen. I need to straighten my hair or something.
this
Is that real hair or is that a wig?
Larry?
It's real hair. People call me Perm Boy growing up, but it's all natural.
Look at that. Look at that. I like that, man. People would die for those curls.
I do want to say my biggest thing is I'm kind of big on social media and all the sports categories, so I see all the different takes and categories and analysts and whatnot.
Right.
And the Brock Purdy slander, I just want to say it's never going to stop. Like at this point, we're either at a point
Never?
where
Really?
you know he's top 10 or you think it's purely the system and you're going to die on that horse. Because at this point, what more does he have to do to prove that he's a good quarterback?
You know, it's so funny about the system thing. That's such crap. I mean, it's such crap. The whole, he's a system quarterback. He's only good because he's in Kyle's system. I mean, Kyle himself, I asked Kyle this question last week, and I'm like, is he a product of your system? And he's like, no, that's ridiculous. He's not a product of my system. He's done it on the road. He's done it at home. He's done it here. He's done it there. Here it is. Here it is right here. I'm gonna share the screen. We're gonna listen to it together. Here we go. This is Kyle Shanahan answering my question about is Brock Purdy a product of his system? And here we go. Wait. Hold on. Let me just back it up. Here we go. Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle, you've had a lot of success with a lot of different quarterbacks in your system. What would you say to those who say that Brock is still largely a product of your system?
I mean, that's pretty ridiculous. You just got to watch the tape. I mean, he plays at a high level every time he's been out there. He's done it in a lot of different situations versus a lot of different defenses. On the road, at home, playoff games, when injured. He can't do all that stuff. He's been out there too long. It's on tape.
It's on tape. There you go. That's Shanahan. I mean, so if Shanahan, who has every reason in the world to say, I got a great system, and it's really a compliment of him when you say he's a product of your system. But he even pushes back and says, no. This guy's not a product of my system. This guy's damn good. And then I hate the people when I play that. They'll be like, well, what do you expect him to say? It's like, come on, are we at that point now? And now every conspiracy theories, and we can't take anybody at face value. Everything's got to be said for a reason, and he's got some double secret this and that. I mean, come on, he's being honest. Kyle Shanahan is basically honest, and he's saying Brock Purdy's not a product of my system. Brock Purdy's Brock Purdy, and he's damn good. So
and the argument is we haven't seen him come back from being down or have to be clutch. It's like, why would he be? He's up 20 at the halftime every game. Like, he can't come back when he's dominating the first 3 quarters. He has the fewest amount of fourth quarter attempts of all quarterbacks right now, and they win by 20 every game almost. They're scoring 30 plus a game, 30 Purdy till I die. So I don't understand what he has to do. I really don't.
BS News says double Kevins. Meet Kevin Red versus Kevin Black.
Here, I'll wear a Trevor Lawrence wig next time, so they don't have to get it confused.
Hey, how did you wind up being a Niner fan in Tucson?
So my mom, oh God, this is a long story. So my grandpa is a huge Dallas fan. I don't know if he's from Dallas, but he was Dallas. And growing up, he always had sports on in the house with daughters. All daughters, always sports. So if tractor racing was on, they were watching that. And my mom hated Dallas because she always heard her dad screaming at the TV at Dallas. So she wanted to play the team that was playing against Dallas. And in the 80s and the 90s, that was the Niners. So she became a Niners fan out of spite of my grandfather. And then that got passed on to me. So
nice.
Yeah, I've been watching since like 2011. The Saints-Niners game where the catch 3 happened with Vernon Davis. That was my first ever live game watching. And ever since then, I've been hooked. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And you got the gamer chair. You got the Niner jerseys in the background. Do you have your own channel? Is that what you're doing, or what's your deal?
Yeah, I do a little bit of stuff on Twitch and whatnot.
What
like
is that? Is that a bong?
sports.
What was that?
My microphone. It's my microphone. I was just showing like that I have. The bong's outside. Don't worry. But,
yeah.
I do.
I mean, what the heck? I mean, that's a better looking mic than I got.
What kind of bong are you using? It's the
It's the gamer bong.
I mean, it could be. I mean, seriously,
LED lights in it. What the fuck's going on?
I mean, it's pretty sweet. I mean, I like that mic though. What kind of mic is that?
This is called the HyperX Quadcast. I think it's the S, but there's an X and an S. One is RGB lights. One is just solid red. And I wanted the.
Kev, can we hook that up? Can I get one of those? What are we talking? What does that retail for?
You have
Cam?
a good mic. You already have
like
I don't want a good mic. I want a cool mic like Cam's.
The Shure microphones are much better for sure for quality, but this looks cooler. So gotta get
That's a good looking mic, man. I like that.
But I do want to say one last thing.
Yep.
I do think Gregory will have a sack this week. I'm gonna wear number 5 for him. I think that the Browns will cover the spread. I think it's gonna be a little bit closer than people think. But I do think we'll win, and I think Christian McCaffrey will have another touchdown.
Sounds good.
Number 15.
Cam, first of all, I just want to say thank you for following us. Thank you for following us on the gram. And we go, we do our caller show on Wednesday nights. We're hoping that you're a regular, man. Check in with us throughout the year. And thanks for supporting the Krueg channel and the Krueg show.
One last thing. I am still waiting for that live freestyle, Larry.
Which one?
The freestyle.
The freestyle rap?
Freestyle on the live. Yes. Still waiting for it.
When did that? What am I missing here?
Yeah,
it was a late night show.
It was a late night show. And I said, "There's a chance maybe I'll go a little freestyle. I can do some bars.
We're waiting for it.
The show will get canceled, man. The show will get canceled right there. Cam, have a great night, man. Appreciate you, brother. There you go. Cam checking in from Tucson.
I like how Cam's bringing youth to the Krueg show.
Dude, he's following you on the gram, man.
I know. I got to follow him back. I feel bad. I don't know the guy. I don't got clout. I don't got clout like that. I can't be not following people back on the gram.
Seriously.
I'm not a
Plus, he's got the
public
cool
figure.
mic, man. Why can't we get the cool mic?
Because, dude, you have a mic that's like a good podcast mic. Like that's just like a gamer mic.
I just want to. I don't want a good podcast mic. I want a lit it. You know, a lit up a mic that looks kind of cool.
Well, if you do your freestyle, we can get it for the freestyle.
Cam, good call, man. Half Ted says he likes Cam. All right, man.
Everyone says I look like that guy. He's like his hair did look kind of red though. Not gonna.
It looked red. It looked red.
Looked pretty red. Dirty blonde.
Dirty blonde. Do you like my line where that's really dirty?
It's like blood blonde.
I loved it. See, this is why I love the call-in show, Kev, because the
always
call-in
picks
show
up at the end too. It always picks up at the end. It's weird.
It is weird, isn't it? It's like it takes a while for people to what is it? Is it takes a while for people to see the link, maybe?
I don't know, but it's weird. Like we'll be asking people for calls, and for an hour, 2 people will join, and then it's like, all right, I guess we got to wrap it up, and then it's like 7 people join all at once. It's
No,
weird.
Seriously. And I felt bad for Los because Los is my boy. Fear the Phantom says Larry the Bong Krueger. Thank you.
You're like, what is that? A bong? Like what? A floating?
I mean, I know what it was. D Shot 316. Larry just wants to get lit. Thank you. Val Ramos says, keep going, Larry. Keep going. Yo Stricken says, much love, everyone. 916. Chat is wild tonight. Oh, man. We're having fun.
Can I shout something out real quick?
Wait, you got a little shout out? What is this, FM DJ?
No, not myself.
We got a stop set of love songs. Nothing but love songs coming up after the break. Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Everyone drop a review on the audio podcast. It would really help us. And check out the Underdog Fantasy link and sign up. It's fun.
Yeah. In fact, the link's in the description, and the promo code is Krueg. And if you click on it, they'll match you up to $100. How about that? Some good stuff today. Today was a great day. Went down to Santa Clara, interviewed Guy McIntyre. We're going to have that up on the channel. We're supporting the Golden Heart Fund, the 49ers foundation arm, which helps raise money for ex-Niners. We're going to have a link on that where people can donate to the Golden Heart Fund. Talked to Randy Gregory today. That's up on YouTube. Talked to Big John Feliciano today. Is that up on YouTube?
Yes.
That one's up. Talked to Randy Gregory, John Feliciano, George Odom. Is that up on YouTube, Kev?
Yes.
That's up on YouTube. So we got a lot going on. And then tomorrow, Brock Purdy, Chris Forster, Steve Wilkes, Open Locker Room. We got a couple of supers here. Tommy Huxley. The Fraudgers are COVID Hall of Famers.
You clicked off of Jesse's comment.
Uh-oh. What happened?
Look at it.
Last Second Sports. Can I request a song for my girlfriend? We've been going steady for a week now. I could be Jesse. I could be like Casey Kasem. You know, there's a guy in Florida who has a girlfriend, and he would really like to shout her out right about now. And he said, you know, she's been here with me longer than I've had my dog. And so this one is for Jesse in the state of Florida and his girl on this Wednesday night. Do you like my Casey Kasem?
I don't know what the hell that is.
It was a show. People used to call up and request songs. It was great. It was great stuff. A couple of ones here. Coco Puff says Brock already had a bad game against the Rams. Okay. And Tommy said the Fraudgers are COVID Hall of Famers. And then this one's not a super, but Hello 65. Drove around early this morning to work listening to KMBR 680 AM on the dial and heard the host say that Bochy got pushed out by the franchise by management. Very disappointed to hear that. Boch is a nice man.
You should do a video on that.
I mean, that's just embarrassing. That is so embarrassing.
If that's true, that's actually big news. I don't know why I haven't seen that on Twitter.
What's this one mean? Half Dead says, Larry hit the Purple Rain in Barbieri.
Purple Rain is like a famous YouTube video where this guy like sings this song in a certain way, but I guess he wants you to sing it in.
I don't know the song though.
In
Purple Rain. I know Purple Rain, but I don't know the words. I can't. And last thing you guys want me to do is sing. That's the last.
No,
thing.
I'm pretty sure they want that.
You know, Krueg, you're so cute. You get so angry at the Giants. That's Ralph. We got this one. We want Larry to do the Ralph voice. So Ralph was a guy that I worked with at Cambiar, and Ralph one time called me, and he found out I was going to Disneyland with my kid, Kevin's older sister. And he's like, "Oh, you're going to Disneyland, Krueg? Oh my God, I'll leave you a voicemail." So he leaves me a voicemail, and it's just ridiculous. It wasn't a voicemail. It was 6 consecutive voicemails all the way through. Krueg, hey, it's Ralph. How you doing, man? I'm glad you're going to Disneyland. You got to go to Toontown. Definitely go to Toontown. You're going to love it in Toontown. And that's where the Disney princesses line up, and you can get autographs. They're really nice. Some of the girls go to Fullerton, believe it or not, but you know what? They're Disney princesses. Don't say anything about it. They're Disney princesses. Aurora, yeah, she's there. I think, he's naming Disney princesses.
Aurora?
And then it goes, beep. Yeah, hey, Krueg, it's Ralph again. How you doing? Yeah, I got cut off. Make sure you go to Toontown. Definitely don't ride the Matterhorn up front. What you do is you get in the park, and you take the tram. You get to the back of the park. You work from the back to the front. Don't go from the front to the back, Krueg, because what happens is you get too many lines. If you get to the back, you work to the front. It's going to be a whole lot better. Boop. Oh, hey, Krueg, it's Ralph again. I just wanted to say, you know what? You got to go to downtown Disney and go to Goofy's Kitchen for breakfast. It's a little pricey, but, you're going to love it. The characters are there. She'll love it. I loved it. Tate loved it. We all loved it. Boop. Yeah, I mean, ridiculous. Ridiculous.
It's crazy because I'm not sure when he passed, but I was young, right? I remember his voice as a child. That's how distinct it was in my brain. Like hearing it on the radio, I'm like, this guy sounds different. Like he had a very distinct voice.
Oh, he was the best. He was absolutely the fucking best. Dusty Gold says Ralph's Miata. He drove a Miata. Yeah, Krueg, you're always ripping on my Miata. I like my Miata. It's good. I like it. You put the top down. You roll around town. People recognize me. They'll say, "Hey, that's Ralph from Cambiar. Remember Ralph?" It's like Ralph. And then Ralph always loved to bet. He loved to wager, and he knew I had a bookie. And so he'd be like, "Krueg, can you do me a favor? Can you get the bet down for me?" I said, "Hey, Ralph, let me just tell you about my guy. My guy pays." "Oh, yeah, that's great. I'm glad that he pays. That's fantastic that he pays." I said, "Ralph, my guy also collects." "Ooh, I don't know, Krueg. He sounds kind of rough. He's not going to rough me up, is he?" I'm like, "Are you going to pay, Ralph?" "Yeah, I always pay. I've never not paid. I know people say that I don't pay, but I do pay. It's funny that you say that I don't pay because I do pay." I'm like, "Ralph, my guy pays, but he collects." He's like, "Oh." There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. That's my Ralph. Now I need now I need a glass of water. Half dead. Larry is the best man. Thank you. Yes, my Amici's Pizza, Tom. It's bell peppers and onions, mushrooms, artichoke hearts. I love artichoke hearts and pizza. I gotta admit, I love artichoke hearts. Oh, yes. Half Dead says, "Can you do a Tolbert?" No, it's not. It's much more difficult to do a Tolbert. Much more difficult.
Like a normal.
It's a regular voice.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Jordy says Larry needs an acai bowl after that. There you go. Acai bowls. Love them. Check them out. Palmetto Superfoods. Where's our acai bowl wrap? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is my acai bowl wrap? There we go. Hey.
I'm in the Damon spot.
Okay. You're in the Damon spot. And also, it wouldn't be a call-in show if we didn't play our favorite caller of all time. Swift Dog says this is the best. Frank Tom Ocean. It's not even 11 p.m. Larry, you're lazy. You're lazy. I love you, boy, but you're fucking lazy. Here we go. It wouldn't be a call-in show, Kev, if we didn't have our favorite caller of all time, Johnny C. from Vegas. Let's go to Johnny. Johnny C.
Let me try, Larry. Okay, so Larry, here's the deal. Larry, honestly, Larry. No, but Larry, I gripe here though, Larry. Here, Larry.
And now
Larry. I mean, Larry, but here's the thing, Larry.
What do you think?
I think they're going to sign Jason Peters.
How old is he?
He's 40, but and Larry, Larry. I mean, Larry, I wish I could, Larry.
Johnny, we're going to have to jump. Johnny C.
He had another line in there that I didn't include because I just didn't know if it didn't really fit. But it was like he's like that what really perturbs me. He said that, and that was really funny.
JW says, "You know what perturbs me, Larry?" Was that his line?
Yeah, he says something like
good
that.
Stuff. All right, hey, that's going to do it for us. Long day today, but good day today. We're back in Santa Clara tomorrow. As I said, Chris Forster, Steve Wilkes, Brock Purdy, that's all coming up tomorrow. More locker room stuff. Colton McKivitz said, catch me tomorrow. So we'll talk to McKivitz tomorrow about Myles Garrett and that matchup. Let's just thank our sponsors and bolt for the door. Kev, you got a final thought before we thank our sponsors?
No. I'm tired, man. I got to get up early.
A man of very few words. All right, thanks to our new sponsor, MarinAutoglass.com. Marin Autoglass Saeed, great company, 415-883-3030. If you need a new windshield, call Marin Autoglass. They're fantastic, great company. Can't say enough about them. New York style Italian sausage, great company as well. The only kind of Italian sausage I will eat is New York style Italian sausage. And of course, the Underdog Fantasy up here in the top corner. And the title sponsor of the Krueg Show, Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue you're going to find. Go say hi to Damon and Mary, get some brisket. Tell them that Krueg sent you. Kev, have a great night, my friend, my son. We'll talk to you soon. And everybody,
peace. Yeah, never met a man I've been scared.